Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the marijuana sector. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the marijuana sector and the ETF stocks and stocks that are related. The sector is heating up right now. In the last video I showed you Canopy Growth and Aurora Cannabis are both starting to really heat up on the daily chart, and so the entire sector is heating up. I'm also going to show you RNVA, which made a bullish move today. That'll be the only non-marijuana sector stock in this video. And so first up is MJ. This is ticker symbol MJ. This is the Alternative Harvest ETF. It trades on the American Stock Exchange. And so yeah, if you're looking for a way to play the marijuana sector, this is one way to do it through an ETF. And as you can see here, it's heating up right now. It has a close above the middle Bollinger Band for 3 days in a row. It closed above on Thursday of last week, and that level has been holding. As long as 32.26 holds, this new uptrend should continue. What we're looking for now is a break above that 50-day simple moving average at 33.79. So if MJ gets above 33.79, that's going to be a big signal that the marijuana sector is starting a new uptrend. It will need to hold both those levels to and turn them into support to continue pushing higher. Look for 35 as the next big resistance level to break. It's all about closing above that 50-day simple moving average and turning it into support. Notice the volume is still very light, so it's pushing higher on very light volume right now. So keep an eye out for a volume spike as the chart heats up. Okay, let's look at AMMJ. This is ticker symbol AMMJ. This is the Toronto Stock Exchange, and so these are Canadian. This is a Canadian ETF. This is the Horizons Medical Marijuana Life Science. The MJ is the American stocks, marijuana related stocks, and then now you have the Canadian ETF here. And so as you can see, it's heating up as well. It had the bullish close above the middle Bollinger Band at the exact same time last Thursday, and that level, closed above 3 days in a row. As long as 1845 holds, this new uptrend should continue. Once again, it needs to get above that green line. If it can close above the 50-day simple moving average at 1991, turn that level into support, that should be the clear signal that this is ready to head higher. Notice that the volume is picking up, so that there's better volume on the HMMJ than there is on MJ. This has got Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth. It has all the stocks. Many of the stocks I'm getting ready to show you, all the Canadian ones. If the ticker symbols end in an F, they're Canadian. That stands for foreign. They trade over the counter. And so yeah, so we're looking for a new uptrend to begin for HMMJ. Above 20 would be very bullish. Okay, so take a look at ACT. This is the Vice ETF. This is Advisor Shares Vice ETF, and so this has some exposure to the cannabis sector as well. This is a thinly traded ETF, only 9,000 shares traded today. It's just another one to keep an eye on. I thought it was interesting, the Vice ETF, and so if it can turn this, notice it's heating up as well. If it can turn that middle Bollinger Band at 25.42 into support, that would signal the start of a new uptrend. It's been, it closed below back here in February, and it's been failing to get above that level. If it can finally turn into support, that would be a signal that it's heating up. So keep an eye on 25.50 if it could stay above. Okay, so check out Cronos Group here. Okay, so this used to trade over the counter as ticker symbol PRMCF for over the counter, and now it's ticker symbol CRON trading on the Nasdaq. So this is very, this was the huge move, moving up to the big boards, to the big leagues, and as you can see, the share price really responded nicely. It's been taking off. It broke above the high close here on January the 23rd. It did that on Thursday when the whole marijuana sector was taking off on these ETFs I showed you. And so now, candles are riding EMA4 at 932 support higher. As long as EMA4 holds, that upturn is intact. The next key level to break is going to be over here, this January 8th and 9th close. That $11 resistance level is on deck. You want to see it stay now above 930. So yeah, it's got a really nice upturn. Look at the big volume that came in once it got over onto the Nasdaq. So yeah, a lot of people want wanted to. This shows you a lot of people want exposure to the marijuana sector. So yeah, so now another one to take a look at is IIPR. Okay, this actually trades on the New York Stock Exchange, and so this is one that not a lot of people, I think, know about. It's in the real estate sector, and so their angle is purchasing buildings and land that they that are used for the marijuana industry. So they have the real estate angle going for them, and I mean, and they trade on the New York Stock Exchange. So this is a solid company. It's thinly traded, but it is heating up. Notice the close today above the middle Bollinger Band. So this is a very bullish close today. If that middle Bollinger Band at 25.77 turns into support, a new uptrend should begin. Notice the green dots were above the candles as the share price was heading lower. The parabolic SAR flipped below the candles today. That SAR stands for stop and reverse. So it's a signal that the downtrend that started here on the close below the middle Bollinger Band, or you could even say back here, it could possibly be stopping and reversing. The big level to break is going to be this 50-day simple moving average at 27.79. Once again, when candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average on the daily chart, riding EMA 4 and 8 support higher, it's a signal that the chart is very bullish and more upside potential. If we draw a descending resistance line here, it looks like it's lining up right up with the today's close. And so yeah, once it can break above this descending resistance line, as you can see here, it has formed a descending triangle type of pattern. And so once it can break, you can even put it down here. There you go. So yeah, so you can see the descending triangle, and then if it could break above this red line here, that would be a clear signal that it wants to head higher. So keep an eye on IIPR. Take a look at IMLFF. Okay, this is another over-the-counter stock. It's really heating up. We put out alerts last week that it was going for a break above resistance and a possible close above the middle Bollinger Band, which did happen on Friday. That was a signal that a possible new uptrend was starting. And this is an example of what we want to see the other ticker symbols in the sector follow through and have the same type of pattern. Notice how today it closed above the green line. That's the 50-day simple moving average at 102. This was a very bullish close. There's no upper wick on today's candle. High of day was the last trade of the day. So what you want to see now, the candles did close above the upper Bollinger Band, is you want to see that a 50-day simple moving average and dollar level turn into support, and the candles keep riding EMA 4 down here at 990 or at 92 cents higher. So this is a really strong move. If the 50-day simple moving average turns into support, this new uptrend should continue. So yeah, this is IMLFF is one of the stronger stocks in the sector right now. As you can see here, busted above this high close resistance level. And then you have it looks like 120 is going to be a big level coming up. So yeah, you're looking at the 120 is the next key level to break above. Okay, let's look at OGRMF here. Okay, OGRMF is another one that's heating up. It's a very thinly traded stock as well. Only 163 shares, 163,000 shares traded today. But once again, notice the bullish move. It closed above the middle Bollinger Band. Now, keep in mind it is on a 4-day run. So if it takes a breather, you want to see the middle Bollinger Band at 327 turn into support. If it holds, the next big level to break is going to be that 50-day simple moving average at 353. So we're looking at OGRMF possibly starting a new uptrend. EMHTF is another ticker symbol that's heating up. Now notice it's still below the middle Bollinger Band, but today it did have a gap up open above EMA's 4 and 8. That's the pink and lime line. There is an unfilled gap between high of day on Friday and low of day today. If it fails to get over that middle Bollinger Band and EMA 13, the orange line at 440 support breaks, it could drop down to EMA 4 down to that 420 level and fill the gap below. Going forward, a close above the middle Bollinger Band at 468 would be bullish. That would signal a possible 50-day simple moving average resistance test. That's what we're looking for here is a close above these two levels, and that would signal that it wants to head higher. When you have a sector-wide move, the laggards will follow the leaders in the sector. So that's what we're looking for now, are stocks that aren't leading the way, but could heat up since the entire sector is running. And that's the example here with SPRWF, ticker symbol SPRWF. This is Supreme Cannabis, another trades over the counter. And you can see here it came down to this big support zone. Yeah, let's see here. So it's got the big, this is a big support zone here, multiple bottoms. It hit a bottom here, bottom, bottom. It has to break above resistance. So right now it has the descending resistance going. Let's see here. Let's get this just real quick for you. And so yeah, you can tell when it's lined up like this that it's got the descending resistance right there. And so yeah, if it can break above that 100-day simple moving average in EMA 13, basically 155, that's going to be your big clue. It's ready to head higher. Today it did close above EMAs 4 and 8. That's your clue. Okay, it's heating up, but it's still down in this it's still in this downtrend. Once it gets above 155 and then above the middle Bollinger Band at 160, that's going to be your clue. Okay, yeah, it's ready to go. But since it hasn't broken those levels, this is one that you might be able to catch that's starting out. And so that's what we're always looking for, is the next ticker symbol to run. Another one to keep an eye on is SPLIF. This was a former had a big run, and then yeah, it's been in this nasty downtrend. You can see here it's got the descending. They all have this same type of descending reason. They have this very similar patterns. They have the descending triangle. When you have ETFs in for a sector, you end up getting very similar chart patterns, because the stocks are all trading in unison. And so you have this very stretched out descending triangle pattern. It'll be a red flag if it drops below 35. That would signal downside risk, and you could see the 100-day simple moving average at 30 tested down here. Now to the upside, if it breaks above 40, that's going to be your big clue. If it can get above that middle Bollinger Band and then get above this descending resistance line, and then the 50-day simple moving average at 457. So yeah, super light volume. Look how there's hardly any volume. So keep an eye out for a volume spike and a push through resistance. Many times there's light volume like this before a move higher. Below 35 though would make it signal downside risk. Okay, let's look at BUDZ. This is Weed Inc. Another one to keep an eye on. It was another high flyer. Has a similar type of pattern. It looks really, does not look good right now. The Canadian stocks in the marijuana sector have been looking much better than the marijuana sector stocks for the United States marijuana sector stocks. And so the Canadian stocks are the has been the place to be. And so we are looking though for the American stocks to heat up as well. And so I will be posting updates, keeping people informed when we see the charts heating up. This is a typical pattern with a lot of the stocks that are American marijuana companies, and they have the downtrend going. And so when they're riding EMA 4, the pink line resistance like this, you just want to avoid. You wait for the close above to signal it's heating up, and then a lot of times it's just better to wait and just see if it can break resistance. Patience pays. You don't want to get caught holding the falling knife, but a close above EMA 4 at 576 would be the signal that it's heating up. If you see it trading above 6, that'll be a good clue. Okay, yeah, this is I need to keep an eye on this. And then once above 650 is when it could get moving again. Okay, so keep an eye on BUDZ. And then finally, let's take a look at RNVA. This was up 85% today, so this is a huge move. This used to trade on the big boards. It got demoted down to the delisted down to the over the counter, and they really drove this thing down. Finally, last week it had that bounce and got above EMA 4 on Thursday and Friday, and then today it had the breakout above EMAs 4, 8, and 13 and the middle Bollinger Band. If it can stay above the middle Bollinger Band at 0.008, a new uptrend could begin. It's been below the middle Bollinger Band for months, and so this is a super huge move. If it turns into support, you could see a run up to that 50-day simple moving average at 0.0, up to 2 cents. Notice the huge volume behind the move today. If it drops below 0.008, it will be a red flag and a risk to hold. You have the PSAR bull flip down here. The dots are below the candles, and then if you look at the 15-minute chart, you can see it was really pushing. If you were watching this and you weren't sure if you wanted to jump in or not, the break above the 300-day simple moving average and then it holding here was the big signal that it was ready to keep heading higher. And so yeah, it really broke out. You could also if you drew in the high close horizontal resistance level. You know, when it broke out above this line at 0061, that was another clear signal that it was breaking out. So yeah, this was a sweet move, closed with very big volume into the close. So keep an eye on it early tomorrow. We'll see if it can follow through. Okay, thanks a lot for viewing this video. You know, stay on top of this marijuana sector right now. It's really heating up. It could get moving if they can break key levels on the daily charts. Okay, thank you very much. I'll post a link. Come check out our chat. I'll post a link below the YouTube video. Thank you.